name is Pastor Jeremy. I'm the Student Ministries Pastor here at ECN. And on behalf of Fuse Middle School Ministries, I just want to say welcome to the Fuse family. We are so excited to have your 6th grade student joining us here in ministry. Maybe it's just not a 6th grader in your family. Maybe you're new to Fuse in general and have some questions about who we are and what we do and why we do it. Well, that's why I'm creating this video today, is for an opportunity to speak with you and share a little bit of our heart and passion about what Fuse is and why we think it's the most important thing for your student to be involved in during these middle school years. Fuse is a place where middle schoolers come to figure out what it looks like to love God and love others. Fuse is a protection, a connection, and an ignition. In welding, when you fuse two things together, they become one. In sewing, it's the same thing. And so we believe that Fuse is a place for kids to connect in these incredible years of their life. Fuse, in an old house, we had fuses that served in a fuse panel as a protection for that house from incoming surges and protected that house from fires. And in the same way, we at Fuse want to be a protection for one another and for your students, as a place while during these middle school years they're facing hard things and making hard choices and figuring out what life looks like for them. We want to be a place where students come and feel protected. Did you know that the fuse on a firecracker is actually a series of micro explosions that lead to one big bang and one big, colorful, beautiful explosion in the sky? We at Fuse want to help our students become those micro explosions as the love of God begins to explode and ignite in their own life. We are an ignition together that will lead to something big and beautiful as the love of God pours through us and into this world. We want to partner with you parents and grandparents, aunts, uncles, guardians. While you're raising these middle schoolers, we understand that times look interesting. And at times you wonder who this kid is and what they've done with the sweet little one that you've known for so long. And as they begin to develop their identity and become a little bit more strong-willed, we want to partner with you in helping you to love on them as best as possible. We operate from a bit of an orange mentality around here. We believe that the yellow represents the light of the church and the love of Christ in our world, and that the red represents the love and the warmth of the family. And we believe that when we can combine those two things together, that we can produce something amazing in our students, that we can work together to make middle school not the worst years of their life, but the best. And so we desire strongly to partner with you, to help you encourage your student, to help you celebrate your student, to be present for them, to show up for their games and their concerts and their recitals or whatever it is. We want to show up for you, families, when you have times of need or when you want to pull your hair out and have questions about what does it look like to raise middle schoolers. Not that we're experts, but we just want to stand beside you and lock arms to help do the best and be the best that we can for these students. And because of that, we have what we call small group leaders here at Fuse. We have some of the best folks from ECN that are signed up to what we believe is the highest and the hardest calling here, that we have them in place to love on your students, to show up, to create safe places, to partner with you, and to make it personal. Our small group leaders are in process as well. We believe as we adults, we've not arrived yet, and we want to continue growing closer to God and figuring out what it means to love Him and love others in this world. And then someday we want to help send them out. We want to help celebrate their transition to high school and help them to make those transitions well. Our small group leaders will be the ones meeting with your students every Wednesday night, and I'm so thankful for who they are and the calling that God has placed on their lives to love your students in this process. We operate on a different schedule here at Fuse, and this year's particularly because of the COVID-19 and all that's happening, we are altering our schedule and how we do things. Typically, we would come over after school and kids would ride the school bus and they'd have the whole afternoon to hang out. And while we love that and we're so excited to get back to that someday, right now, because of the CDC guidelines and the transportation issues that we have, we're not able to do that. And so in order to put our best foot forward and make Fuse as accessible as possible to your students, we have created a schedule that we feel like will help in that process. So this year, for now, we will not be meeting after school with our Fuse ministry. Our middle school ministry, Fuse, will kick off at 5 p.m. 5 o'clock, we want your students to show up and they'll have their normal after school kind of hangout time. They'll come in, they'll sign in, and we'll start hanging out, whether that's up here on the MC lot or down in the gym playing dodgeball, playing carpet ball, ping pong, whatever it is, hanging out in some of that open relational space. And then from 5:45 to 6:20, we'll have our small groups and they'll have dinner together still. We have a great staff of folks who are preparing meals and planning meals for this fall, and they'll have those ready. At 5:45 to 6:20, our middle schoolers will have our small groups. And then our worship will take place from 6:30 to 7:30. And that'll be a combined worship service with our high school students. And we'll have the whole student ministries family together for worship. And I'm very excited about that possibility. Not only that, but this year, more and more of our small group leaders will have the opportunity to be a part of that worship service as well. And then at 7:30, we'll dismiss your middle schoolers out, and we will have the parking lot available. Depending on how many students come back right away, you'll be able to either park and come to the door and get your middle schooler, or as numbers begin to increase again, we'll reinstate our parking lot team who will be out there to facilitate that dismissal process. Of course, our high schoolers, if you have high schoolers, you're wondering, well, what happens with them? Not much changes for high school this year. Our high schoolers will still come to ECN between 5:45 and 6 p.m. and they'll get a plate of supper if they want, and they'll have the lot up here and the MC to themselves from 5:45 to 6:30, and then at 6:30 we'll worship with our students all together. High schoolers will have their Vine small groups at 7:30 and be done at 8. Wow, that's a lot of information. It's a lot to take in. I hope wherever you are, however many kids you have, and wherever you may find yourself in life at this point, I hope that you'll find that we here at Fuse and Vine and ECN are here for you. This is a place where you can come and find home, a place where together we serve and we grow, where we all are figuring out what it means to love God and love others. We pray that you'll let us have the opportunity to love and lead your students, but also to walk alongside with you as a family in this process. If you have questions, my email is right here. Pastor, it's jeremybyler82@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Looking forward to all that God does in and through this group of kids in the future. Thanks for letting us love your students.